Welcome back. We are celebrating the birth of the new year and the holiday season that's coming to an end. And who better to take us through how good it was in business terms other than Puneet Chhatwal, Managing Director and CEO of Indian Hotels Company. Mr. Chhatwal, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. From all of us at CNBC-TV18, a very happy 2025 to you, your family and everyone at Indian Hotels.
Thank you. Happy New Year to all of you.
Okay. Well, the first thing I wanted to ask you is actually, a little negative because I believe you're joining us from Goa. And some news reports from Goa newspapers told us that the beaches were not so crowded. Is it that Goa is getting bypassed? Was the holiday season not as up to the mark as we all expected?
I don't know about the entire market. I've seen a statement from the Tourism Minister of Goa, which says in the newspaper today that the year has been very strong. And for us, we have almost 50 outlets in Goa, including homestays, and we are trending ahead of last year. So I don't see any reason of any slowdown. But yes, there has been a chatter about it. I heard that a month or 6 weeks ago. And, you know, we have to take the year as 365 days and not just like 10, 15 days here or there. The start in December was relatively slow compared to last year, but the pickup in the run from 20th of December to 31st of December was phenomenal.
Oh, okay. Then that kind of puts paid to any such fears that perhaps Goa didn't come up to the mark. But more generally, I wanted to ask you, we had this advantage of revenge tourism, which has obviously taken your stock over the 1 lakh crore market cap mark as well. You were the best beneficiary of that revenge tourism. Is it continuing or has it begun to fade?
I would like to start the year on a positive note. Firstly, I think we benefited a lot from our not like-for-like growth. Just in the calendar year, we signed almost 80 new agreements, which is, 1.7 agreements a week. That means we added so many more hotels to the pipeline. We opened almost 40. And I would like to say that, yes, there was some kind of a travel upsurge post-COVID. But more importantly, this is coming through the change in the demand and supply scenario. The demand is stronger than supply, and the demand is stronger than supply because of the change in the infrastructure in the country, because of what you just now had on your channel, is the change in the GDP growth of the country, is the change in the disposable income. And, when I just look at the next quarter, we have several government delegations, heads of states coming in the months of January, February. You have the Aero Show in Bangalore. You have the new event happening for the first time in India called The Waves in the first week of February. There's the Mahakumbh, and that spiritual tourism will start from 13th or 14th of this month, ending with Mahashivratri towards the end of February. So there is a lot happening on all sources of demand, whether it's business, with waves happening in Bharat Mandapam. I always said, if we get one big event every quarter in Bharat Mandapam and Yashobhumi in Delhi, the upsurge in the demand will be significant. And the same is very important for the wedding. Year 2025 is going to have higher wedding dates than we've had in the last few years. So all in all, I think we remain very optimistic, and only one place where the sector is lagging behind is foreign tourist arrivals in India. And with our very energetic tourism minister, I also remain optimistic on that front that we will put some right levers in place to increase those arrivals and get to that 100 million target, what we have set for by 2047.
Oh, yes. As well, I wanted to speak about your targets as well. Doubling the number of hotels, if I remember right. That's what you said on your Capital Markets Day, 350 to 700, correct? That was what I remember reading in your report. Well, I'll come to that in just a bit. But let me take up this. This is a very interesting theme you've put on the table in terms of foreign tourists. You know, even a few, say, 10 years ago when you went to Colaba, you saw this mix of so many nationalities. Now you see less of foreign tourists over there. We seem to be missing out to what? Vietnam? Is it to Thailand, to Bangkok? We're missing out, we're losing out to somebody. Will Indian Hotels plan to put hotels there in Vietnam, in Bangkok?
Well, Latha, the action is here. These are small niche markets. They are important. Whenever any opportunity arises, we will try to benefit from it. But our focus in using our time and capital and resources stays on the Indian subcontinent. There is so much happening in tier 3 cities. We have discussed on so many occasions. We are building, a lot of new markets, including islands of Lakshadweep or a lot of new markets in the Northeast. So I think spiritual destinations, we just opened a hotel in Puri. We opened a few days ago the airport Taj at Kochi. So I think a lot is happening on all fronts, and I'm very excited. I've always mentioned this about the growth of the ginger brand. This is a part of our new businesses, and new businesses are doing a top line growth of 30-35% plus, and that's what we have guided the market. And it will only increase. It's not going to slow down because of the change in the business model, the change in the brandscape, and the change in India itself, which is driving.
No, I take your point entirely. I think you all put that word spiritual tourism on the table after the Ayodhya temple inauguration. So I mean, that's absolutely a whole new vertical for your industry. And likewise, as you have told us several times in the past about ginger being a new concept and especially, I guess, very margin accretive for Indian hotels. If you can give us some ideas, which will be the growth drivers? Will it be these new concepts like Ama or branded residences? Will it be spiritual tourism? Which is the big growth driver that you see in the year and years ahead? I mean, I know you won't talk about the quarter, you're in silent period, but for the longer term.
The big growth driver in the next 5 years will remain our great crown jewel, which is the Taj brand. And the growth in Taj brand has been phenomenal. We've done a lot of upgrades, a lot of repositionings, and we expect Taj to remain like almost 70% of the portfolio in the next 2 to 3 years. But the new businesses will keep increasing their share to get to 20-25%. And that is very critical to us because we are, addressing the needs and wants of all kinds of customers in a heterogeneous country like India and not just focused on luxury. Luxury with Taj was, is, and remains iconic, which has helped Taj to become India's strongest brand and world's strongest hotel brand. And we want to maintain that position like we've been doing for the last 4-5 years. So obviously there is no replacement for Taj, but Taj has been around for 121 years. Some of these names may be old, but they're really new startups. And the reimagined gateway has nothing to do with the gateway of the past. But the name was good, the idea was good, and we've just fine-tuned it and reimagined and relaunched it like we did with Ginger. So I think all in all, we expect these new brands to scale up very fast, and these will be the key contributors in the doubling of the portfolio by 2030. We are not going to build a Taj in every nook and corner of India. The market has to be able to sustain the cost base, the capital structure, that a Taj kind of a branding needs.
Okay. Oh, well, I have lots more questions. Unfortunately, out of time on the show. We'll take a rain check. We will speak with you after your quarterly numbers when you'll be perhaps more relaxed about speaking about things. Thank you very much, Puneet Chhatwal, for joining us. And once again, a great 2025 to you. And I take your point, more Tajes and more Gingers. And I think what is helping both Indian hotels and India is that more people think that Taj is affordable, that it is within their reach. That category itself is growing. And there's, of course, a new category growing and capturing the ginger luxury as well.
Just the last word, Latha. The
Sure.
sector is going to write a new narrative for India in its contribution to GDP and job growth. There is no second thought in my mind about that.
What a great way to end the conversation, and what a great way to start 2025. Thank you very much, Puneet Chhatwal. We have to wrap up on that note on Bazaar. A break. Chartbusters will take the market action forward.